Look at the NCAA, and certainly wrestling is a program that a lot of schools will cut for whatever reasons. Are you concerned about the future of wrestling?
Oh yeah, I'm very concerned about it. I have a son who's an assistant coach at Central Michigan. Both my boys went there and wrestled. They're fortunate to have a solid program there that's, but you just never know. I think the NCAA is down to 81 teams in Division I in wrestling, up from 320 30 years ago. I mean, that tells the tale right there. Obviously, some Division II and III schools are adding it, but it's because it's an enrollment-based thing. They're trying to get more kids to come to their schools. It's a huge concern, and it's a huge concern for those coaches too. I feel for those guys and Division I coaches because they just never know. Eastern Michigan was the latest victim last year, or it was 2 years ago, I think. No, it was last year.
Right.
Last year.
Are there ways we can make wrestling more spectator-friendly to help bring more people out to it? Because if you get into a good wrestling meet, the fans get into it, it is just as good as any other athletic event.
Yeah, there is. And I try to do that here at Clay. We try to make all our events spectator-friendly. My coaches probably get tired of hearing me say, look, we got to do this because these fans need to know what's going on. It's not a spectator, and I use that exact term, spectator-friendly. I say these people, the new people, they don't know what's going on. I want to have a team score. I want to have a match score. I want them to know everything that's going on. And I think that everybody needs to jump through all those hoops and try to make it as friendly as they can for people, to bring people in, and the way to make it a better sport to come and watch, I think, is having competitive dual meets.
If you could build the perfect wrestler, what attributes would he have or she have?
If I was going to build the perfect wrestler, well, and I'm talking perfect, he's going to be smart. He's going to be academically smart because wrestling isn't for dummies, regardless of what people think. You got to be smart, you got to be able to process information, and you got to be able to process attacks against you quickly. You got to understand what you're going to do to defend. You got to understand what you're doing to score offensively. So you got to be smart. You got to be quick. You got to be disciplined. You got to have desire. You got to want to win. You got to be strong, and you got to want to learn. You have to want to learn. I'm just thinking about what college coaches want, and they ask me, when they're recruiting kids. How coachable is this kid? You got to be coachable. But I think the biggest thing is just be coachable. That's what I would want. I can't say how strong, how much weight they got to bench. I just want to know how coachable are you.
Is one of the bigger challenges with wrestling having a freshman who's going to wrestle at a lower weight class, and then as he matures, he's going to move up, having to deal with, okay, this kid's good at this weight now, but in a few years, projecting him a few years. Is that something you need to deal with?
Yeah, you always have to do that, but not as much for us in high school as it is in college, because when you're giving out scholarship money, those guys want certain kids at certain weights. For us, for my program, it's, hey, if you're going to be 113 pounder your sophomore year, then if you're going to be 126 or 132 your junior year, then that's what it is. That's what you are. We don't force kids to cut weight. We kind of want kids to wrestle what they're comfortable in. They have to cut a little weight, but not a lot. And it's not for me. It's not like that in high school. I don't do that to kids in high school. They do more of that kind of stuff in the Division I college level. And, you're recruited for 141. You need to be 141. I don't care if you weigh 170. Okay, that's a little bit tougher.
Finally, everybody's biased. They're going to think their sport is the best, but I'm going to give you a few moments to tell me why wrestling is the best sport.
Oh, well, I think wrestling is one of the best sports out there because you're an all-around athlete. You're dedicated. You're the desire that needs to win. There's not many sports where you go into practice every day, to practice 2.5 hours a night, and you're not allowed to have a drink of water or go home and eat as much supper as you want. That takes something. It makes us a young man special. I'm happy with my kids who I'm as happy with my kids who don't do well on the mat as I am with my kids who are state champions because of what it takes for that kid to compete. It's just a sport that everybody can compete in. We don't cut anybody in wrestling. No one ever gets cut in wrestling. It's a sport for kids of all sizes. You don't got to be big. You don't got to be tall. You can be, short, 103 pounds, to 6'8", 285 pounds. There's weight classes for everybody. It's a sport for everybody. It's a sport for everybody.